Hi, we are going to be talking about using shared drives as a source for master copies for what you will be ultimately uploading to Google Classroom. I really prefer using shared drives on Google because it helps to decrease the amount of clutter that you are going to see in your file management program. And then it makes it very simple to work on collaboration, especially since we are all going to be home for a hot minute and working remotely. It is essential that we are making things as simple and streamlined as possible. Of course, everyone is going to have their favorite file management system, but this is what has worked best for me and the people I collaborate with. And on implementing Google Classroom techniques. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is get to the drive area. To do that, you are going to probably click on the little waffle icon over in the right corner here where your Google Apps are. This works similarly to a cell phone in that whatever you use the most is what will show up here, so you guys can see what I have used the most. And you are going to click on your Google Drive. Again, it is essential at this point to make sure that you are signed into the correct Google account. So you are going to want to make sure to check that your personal and your school accounts are not different. Anyways, so you're going to want to make sure that your little pictures match here. If they don't match, you are going to want to see a previous video that I made on using more than one account on one device. Anyways, so click on your drive. And then what you're going to see are a number of things that kind of sound the same. So you're going to see the My Drive that you are probably most familiar with. You're going to see something called Shared Drives, which was previously called Team Drives. Previous to that, it was Shared Drives, so they've changed it several times. So we'll see if it's like this, in a couple months, but for now it is Shared Drives. And then there is this Shared with Me tab. My Drive, of course, is something that you have ownership of. Shared drives are going to be those files that you have that are meant for collaboration, highly recommended for when you are using Google Classroom. And Shared with Me, basically that just dumps everything that anyone has ever shared with you. So what kind of you're gonna see is that there are just a million kids who have shared a million different things with me. So if you go to your shared drive, you'll see that I have several things set up here already. But again, what you're going to want to do is set one of these up to work on collaboration, right? So you're going to go to new. Let's say you want to make a new one for a new class. New class. And click create. And then if you give it a second, beautiful, you have an empty drive. Now what you're going to want to do is probably add some collaborators. So you can go to add members. You are going to want to add, I don't know, someone. So I'm going to add this artisan. You are going to want to make sure that you are using their ecsdnet.org domain. If you use the evansville.k12.wiws domain, that does lead to some sharing issues. So please make sure that you are using the ecsdnet.org domain for everyone. Now, at this point, you're going to have to make a decision. You need to decide what you want the other person or people to be able to do. If you click this drop-down menu, for most people you are going to share with, I would recommend having them as a contributor. A contributor allows them to add files, edit files, but they're not actually moving things around. And that is a very important thing. There is, what was the phrase? Too many cooks in the kitchen, right? So you want people to collaborate and work together, but you also want to make sure that nothing is accidentally deleted. There are ways to recover deleted files that I can help you with if you need that. So just, shoot me an email if that happens. But it's usually easiest to have one person be like the official manager of the shared drive and then the others as contributors. So I would make sure they were contributors. So now I'm going to write practice. For that. And then you can click send. There's also this little manage members. So if you decide that you don't want someone to have access anymore later on in life, this will become available. So you go ahead and click send. And then you will notice that my new class has now become 2 people instead of just 1. At this point, you can organize your folder however you deem best. And you can go to new, you can create a new folder. So maybe I'll call this, I don't know, week 1, something like that. And then once I have my week 1 folder, you double click, maybe. And then I can add a new Google Docs. In terms of what works well for Google Classroom implementation, you might consider something in a format similar to this. So this is something that I use really often. So if you happen to have some students that I have had in the past, this will work pretty okay for you because they will know what to expect. So if you see on the left here, there are columns that have some spaces where you could type a question. So like, what is DNA? And then that leaves these areas on the right here available for students to answer and kind of fill in the blank. This provides some really nice scaffolding for students because it adds a nice visual about what they should or should not be adding into their Google Doc. And then it is really easy to pop in and actually type in some sentence starters to individual students' docs. This is also a really nice way to kind of break up assignments a little bit, but not make it too overwhelming. So they kind of know where they have to go, but they're not trying to like mess around with like 5 different files or anything like that. A lot of times what I will do is I will actually put in like a YouTube link embedded within the assignment. So if they go through in the correct order, then they can just click the next link when they're done with that section and move on. You can also add pictures into this. So I have a lot of students who will add pictures, so I can go put my cursor in the box. You can go to insert, image, you can upload, or you can push camera. This works pretty well. So I encourage you to give a format like this a try. One of the major downfalls with using this little like box method is that sometimes plagiarism software has trouble with this because it recognizes this as data and not as words. So that is something worth knowing. All right, thanks for joining me today. I will talk to you soon.